Jody moved closer, touched my chest, and tried to bring her face to mine. In a gasp, she said, "There's nothing to be afraid of, Jack." She was well dressed and wore heavy makeup to attract me. In that dim room, I hardly realized that it wasn't Rachel. And to be honest with you, I kinda wish that was my wife Rachel standing there seducing me. Hi everyone, I'm Jack, 31 years old from the USA. I was hesitant to tell my embarrassing story here, but after thinking for a while, I was determined to overcome my complexity to tell this one and only story for everyone to learn from. The story is about being married to a woman who has a twin sister. 1 year ago, I married Rachel, who is 3 years younger than me. Rachel is a beautiful and thoughtful woman. We are both Christians, and we met each other at the wedding of a mutual friend in the local church. After 6 months of dating, I proposed, and Rachel happily said yes. Only after getting engaged did I and Rachel visit her home to meet her family in real life. And the first unbelievable story between me and the Rachel family happened within the 2 weeks we stayed at her house. There is one thing I haven't explained to you guys yet. Rachel has a younger sister named Jody. They are twins, so they look very similar. Both have shoulder-length blonde hair. The looks on their faces are almost identical, from their eye color, the bridge of their noses, to their cheekbones. However, maybe because I love Rachel, I'm a little biased towards her appearance. On closer inspection, my wife Rachel's eyebrows look less fierce than her sister Jody. Rachel is a sweet, naturally beautiful, kind, and thoughtful woman. Those qualities are evident in her appearance. Meanwhile, when looking at Jody, I feel a bold and playful character that cannot be hidden. To me, no matter how similar the two of them look, I only see Jody as a friend, and I'm not attracted to her by any means. Jody is the type of person who likes to party, is selfish, and does nothing useful. Like I mentioned above, Rachel and I are Christians. We both respected our faith and never violated God's commandment not to have sex before marriage. But the wedding was just a month away from our time visiting Rachel's family, so we both were extremely anxious for that special first time together. I still remember the day the whole family went to dinner at Rachel's aunt. I was at the store buying wine as a gift for the dinner when I received a call from my future father-in-law telling me to go home to pick up Rachel because they had left, but she insisted on waiting for me. Of course, I was happy to come back and pick up my wife, even though I didn't understand why Rachel didn't call me directly. When I got home, the house was dark, but the front door was not locked. I went inside and called Rachel, but she didn't answer, so I went to her room. That room was also dark, only a bedside lamp was turned on. When I entered the room, still looking for Rachel, suddenly a woman's arms hugged me from behind. Although startled, I felt quite happy to find Rachel in such a happy mood to joke around like that. I turned around, hugged her, and kissed her hair lovingly. At that very moment, I found that it was not a familiar scent. Only then did the girl in my arms say, "Jack, it's Jody." Surprised, I pushed Jody away. She was well dressed and put on heavy makeup to seduce me. In that dim room, I hardly realized it wasn't Rachel. And to be completely honest with you, I kind of wished it was my wife Rachel standing there seducing me. Jody moved closer, touched my chest, and tried to bring her face to mine. In a gasp, she said, "There's nothing to be afraid of, Jack. Rachel has gone with my mother. She didn't know I was still here. Frankly, I love you from the first time I met you. Rachel and I are twins, but I'm more interesting than her. Spend 15 minutes with me, and everything in this room will be a secret between us. Don't worry." As she spoke, she stroked her hand slowly between my legs. At that moment, I blushed, pushed her away, and ran off to my car. As I was frantically opening the car door and getting inside, my father-in-law called. I was all shivering when answering the phone, but I heard cheerings on the other end. My father-in-law could not hide his joy on the phone. He laughed and told me, "Congratulations to my future son-in-law. You have passed the final test of fidelity. Jody just called me about everything. Good work. I apologized on behalf of my family for playing this game to try you, but we loved Rachel, so I just wanted to make sure she found a good husband. That person is you, Jack." I sat there listening to every word of my father-in-law, but my sweat continued to flow. When my father-in-law concluded, I couldn't find anything else to say other than thanking him and said that I would come to the party immediately. But there was a big secret that no one knew. The true reason why I immediately ran down to the car at that decisive moment was not entirely due to my loyalty to Rachel, but because I forgot my wallet, which contained my condoms, in the car. Who knew that careless habit had saved me big time? Fast forward to the moment after Rachel and I were married. We became busier at work, so we delayed our honeymoon until 4 months later. The location we chose was the famous Las Vegas. Rachel insisted on taking Jody, her twin sister, with us. The reason was that Jody was depressed after breaking up with her boyfriend. Since the challenge with Rachel's family, my relationship with Jody had always been awkward. Every time I saw Jody, I only remembered her flirtatious appearance. But to make my wife happy, I had to agree. During our stay in Vegas, I got weird look from everyone everywhere we went because I was with two girls who looked the same. Perhaps in their heads, I was a sick person who was dating these two girls at the same time, like in some pornos they saw. I didn't know what to say, so I just laughed it off. On the last night, the three of us stayed in Las Vegas. After trying our luck at the casino under the hotel, we went to the bar to celebrate our winnings. We were happy and decided to drink a lot to celebrate our last night there. Then, in my memory, I and my wife took the elevator up to our room in the hotel, leaving Jody behind at the bar with a man. When I got back to my room, I immediately fell asleep on the sofa because I drank too much. It was unclear how soon afterward I woke up in a state of drunkenness and irritation. I could not open my eyes, but I could feel my wife touching me everywhere, and of course, I was turned on. We kissed and slowly took off our clothes. We both smelled like alcohol because we drank too much, but thanks to that, we both got excited and rushed into each other like crazy. I thought it was the right time to do it. It was embarrassing to say this, but after a few minutes into the game, I started touching her breasts and found them to be as hard as plastic balls. I immediately stopped. All the stimuli of alcohol vanished when I realized it was Jody, not my wife Rachel. But this time I was not as lucky as before. At that exact moment, Rachel opened the door, turned on the light, and witnessed everything. She screamed when she saw the two of us on top of each other, almost naked, with my hand on Jody's breasts. Jody was awake by that shout. She got up, grabbed the blanket in a hurry, and ran into the bathroom. My wife cried and rushed out in resentment. I couldn't follow her right away because I had to put on clothes. Needless to say, Rachel was angry. During the trip from Las Vegas back home, the three of us didn't say a word to each other. Rachel filed for divorce just 2 days after our honeymoon. Although I apologized and even wept, Rachel insisted on not changing the decision. She said that for whatever reason, things have already happened and I betrayed her with her sister. It was something she could not accept. I didn't know what to do to save our marriage other than refusing to sign the divorce application. Rachel packed up and left home to stay with her parents. Upon hearing the story, Jody sent an apology email to both of us, but only made it worse. What do you think I have to do to convince Rachel to change her decision? I knew I was wrong from the start, but I love Rachel so much. Help me!